These zombies are slow when they walk, and yet strangely they catch up with people and they eat them. All of y'all are slow in comparison to me. I guess blessed Finach, I'm a child of God. I got speed. Somehow every so often you get close enough to get a bite, and now you have buried me inside moderation for YouTube. In my other video, I spoke about how I used to be not a moderator, but an administrator. So I know why yielding rights moderators have. I used to administrate projects for project managers. When a project manager would start a job, I would not only open a dashboard for them, but I would give them rights, permissions to access their particular project so they can track it in their dashboard and upload on SharePoint, their documents, etc. I was the person doing that for them. Those were powers I was given to do this thing. When a project manager went on leave and they handed over their work to another project manager seasonally until they came back, I had to seasonally, temporarily award rights to their dashboard to another project manager to essentially track their stuff. Whoever was nominated by the manager. But as soon as the other lady came back or the dude came back from leave, I would then shut off permissions from the other guy once they did a handover again, and the other project manager then carried on from where she left off. When a project manager resigned, that individual's projects, I would then assign a new PM on that dashboard and essentially close off and shut until HR eliminates the person on the systems altogether from accessing that dashboard. And then when a project manager gave their project over to another person because the manager was giving them another project to run, I would then have to remove all permissions by the previous project manager on the system to access this project and then give it to the new PM, such that the present PM who still had access to MTN systems could not access her old projects because now you're no longer the project manager of this project. That's what you're supposed to do when you're a moderator. When YouTube tells you this person is doing porn, this person is killing a person online, this person is doing a suicide live, this person is whatnot, you can just shut them off altogether, lock them out. You can also moderate based on this person, like, some inappropriate stuff that makes sense to be moderating. But I mean, as a project manager, not project manager, but as an administrator, I did, of course, have those powers. So I could have just gone rogue, couldn't I? As an administrator, I could have gone rogue because I decided to just, become like a Nephilim and become a hybrid. And some of my hybrid DNA is giving anarchy. I could have just done that and then made a decision that, when Lerato and Chantel start working at MTN, I don't like them. I feel like the one's skin is too peach and I think the other one's skin is too brown. So, nah. And so to sabotage their ability to be able to track their projects, sabotage their ability to be able to give feedback to their stakeholders, their ability to be able to export pivot tables from the system to then present in a PowerPoint presentation. Listen, I am going to thwart this so that people can think that they are incompetent on their jobs. Yeah, I'm gonna go and choose Chantel and pull her by her pixie tails, and then I'm also going to pick on Lerato and pull her by her braids, by her box braids. I'm gonna give that woman a 5 rand, send a 5 rand size gold patch from just yanking at her box braids. I don't like Lerato, I don't like her, I don't. So, sister, project manager Lerato that has not seen this coming, because Papa, what bone do I have to pick with you, Lerato, since I don't know you? You came from another company, you used to work for Standard Bank, now you are here at MTN. I don't know you, I don't know what your mama's name is, I don't know if you have a child, whether you're married, I don't know what your favorite color is. I have never met you, but I just knew on induction that this one, she's not sitting right on me. And so seeing as I'm picking a bone with both Lerato and Chantel, I then decided that I'm going to, in my own unique capacity, go freaking rogue and sabotage these two project managers and then lock them out of the systems. Listen, all together. Lerato, yeah, so your boss has given you 5 projects, schmeif projects. Chantel, our boss has given you 7 projects, schmezen projects. Again, I just love doing right. I did that with Chantel and Lerato. And then one day Lerato comes to work whistling. And it's like, hey, I feel like I want to export this so that I can put it in my PowerPoint. Let me just do that. Yeah, yesterday Lerato was able to do everything she could do because IT gave her a personality on the system. HR recognized her as a staff member. Boss lady put her on her payroll. Everybody knows that this chick works for MTN, but I don't agree. I don't agree. HR on the system. Boss, payroll. Colleagues, inducted. That's our colleague Lerato. She has a parking bay designated just for her. Like, this chick works here. But I don't agree. Because, I mean, after all, what is with the box braids? What is with the box? I don't like your box braids and your shirt. And then I decided to just, lock Lerato out altogether from the systems during a season when our boss, is on maternity leave. So she's not going to be back for, 3 months. Chantel and Lerato's boss are both on maternity leave. Chantel's boss has been in an accident, so he's in a coma. And Lerato's boss is on maternity leave. While they are trying to find replacements for these 2 bosses, while nobody has taken their positions, everybody's pretty much self-running. They're trusted to be responsible employees. After all, you are collecting a salary. Listen, don't come up my nostrils as MTN. You're big people. You're old enough. It's only 3 months. Your boss will be back. We can't find a replacement. Resources are scant. Everything is bottlenecked. We can't afford to give you a substitute. Ooh, whenever you leave me, I'll be your substitute. I guess not. And then as an administrator, I decided to go rogue because my boss is not here. Or both bosses belonging to both PMs. And then for a cool 3 months, I make it impossible for Chantal to work and for Lerato to work. They can't access systems. They keep on complaining. They go to IT. They go this, they go that. Yeah, listen, they knock everywhere. They even try to use a new laptop. They this and they that. But why am I locked out? I can't, like, proper. I'm working habuhloko. And really, at the end of the day, the prerogative of Karabo, because listen, I am that anarchist, is to make sure that, like, after all, I don't like your box braids and Chantal, your pixie tails, I'm still gonna keep cutting them. I want you to leave MTN. I want you to quit your job. I want you to give up, because I don't like you here. You're cramping my style. You're cramping my style. I am trying to, through sabotage, constructively dismiss Chantal and Lerato, respectively. Oh my god. Go in South Africa. Tell me, Karabo, do you own MTN? Oh, no, I'm just a mere employee. Tell me, Karabo, are you here from the start? Are you one of the founders? No, I'm just a mere employee. Tell me, were you given permission by the bosses to block these PMs? No, I just don't like them. She's going to think of it. Tell me, Karabo, are there rules based on the policies and regulations of your role that award you permissions to block Chantal and Lerato in this way? That is it feasible? Does it make sense? Did Chantal embezzle company funds and so now she is under investigation, and during the season that she's under investigation she can't access company systems? Is that what's going on with Chantal? No, I just don't like her. Did Lerato abuse her powers as an employee and therefore use her dashboard, your project management, to sell my keep as opposed to track her projects? No, I just don't like her. Oh, so you don't own MTN? Your boss has not given you permission to do this. There is no infringement on the part of Chantal and Lerato pertaining this particular thing. You're just doing what you want to do because you want to get them, never mind fired, but for them to walk away by themselves. Even though, frankly, they were hired by MTN, put on payroll, HR has them on the systems, IT has made them an entire personality. They are, in all intents and purposes, essentially employees of MTN, but you decided that you don't like them, and so you want to constructively dismiss them. Is that what I'm getting over here, Karabo? Oh yeah, no, totally, that's what I'm doing. Okay, bye. Yeah, goodbye. Like, listen, get out. Get out. Security, come and shuffle this monstrosity out of the building. Take her access card. Take her laptop. Take everything. We can't be working with people in our street that are so freaking rogue. Yeah, that's what the little feeble crow with black plumage at YouTube that God calls Marimabi and I call her Matlaga did to me. I am like Chantal, I am like Lerato, and she just does not like my box braids. She is in the moderating team of South Africa, and she has made a decision that I must leave YouTube, even though YouTube has opened its platform for anyone that wants to create a channel to create it, and one day they could even monetize, and so therefore officially qualify as an employee. This chick found me one day and I don't even know how. I think it was through my shorts, and I believe she belongs to one of those teams that moderate, that send you an email when you're doing well and they say come on board and join the shorts partnership program. She found my content and decided that she's gonna freaking block me, that she does not know me. She doesn't know me. And from that day, she made it her prerogative to ruin me for no other reason but the fact that her spirit didn't gel with mine. She's a Satanist, a devil worshipper, and she keeps on getting paid by everyone and everything. And one day, gnarly little monsters found my content and were willing even to pay her 7,000 rands, 30,000 rands to make sure I go nowhere. And now this woman is literally blocking somebody on a platform that she doesn't own, where she wasn't given permission to do this thing, and based on her own community guidelines and rules as to why you can do how, like what allows for you to block a person so heinously, none of them fits. Like there's no reason for this that can be explained. No reason. First of all, YouTube belongs to America. Secondly, Trump effected an executive order banning all manner and kinds of crazy little anomalous persecution or discrimination on people based on religion, on faith. Thirdly, this chick is working for a branch in South Africa where she has gone rogue, even from the rules of America. Fourthly, her bosses don't know what she's doing. She's just doing whatever her own thing that she's doing. And fifthly, she has done it for no other reason but the fact that I don't like you. So she's taken her own personal agendas into her job, and has therefore on that day jeopardized it, and she's gonna lose it. The Lord keeps on saying disciplinary hearing, so I don't care that you black crow with your fluffy black plumage where you are flying over my head as a not a vulture but a scavenger. I don't care that you have gazed upon my body as a carry-on, as a dead body. I'm not dead, I'm alive. But you want to devour me as a hyena, a crow, or a vulture. You're not going to get to eat into my flesh, because the only way that a vulture can eat a carrion is precisely because it's a carrion, it's dead. I'm alive, so when you come at me trying to pluck out my eyes as a bird, I'm going to slice and dice you proper. I'm going to make you poultry. I'm going to put you on my plate and eat you. I'm going to finish you. You're going to lose your job and then you're going to die. And when that happens, understand, when you get to eternity, you will sing, I don't know why I didn't see that I had this coming. This diabolical YouTube has grabbed her powers as a moderator. She's an old woman to be a moderator, and she's only ever stayed in that job as a moderator precisely because of the jojos that she gets paid by the South African syndicate that's messing with South African online personalities, especially on YouTube. She keeps on getting paid the Georgia bribes, and so she's staying in one dumb job as a woman. I believe she's in her 30s, unprepared to take a promotion. She's got a degree. She doesn't want to grow. She's staying in this job because she is heavily financed. Her income is heavily supplemented by a very corrupt Don Falconic Gotham government and a very corrupt cult system in South Africa that is using American platforms for their own desires. And now one of her crazy little bootmadlessers have found me, have seen me, and have said, I want her, she's mine. That man has got a wife and multiple mistresses, side pieces. He wants me in an AC Temple union and put a baby in my stomach with all those diseases. I must take syphilis in my stride. I gotta take that clap and that gonorrhea and just grab it, run with it. One of them is a billionaire that keeps on saying, listen, she's not barging. And the only reason why these men even found me to feel entitled to me is because a person put me in a position to be maintained in poverty in the first place. And so now, because I'm poor, look at South African men being vultures, insist upon me. They feel like I am fussy. They feel like I'm fussy. Why are you so fussy? You've got rules in religion. Yeah, I'm in Christ. You're a devil worshiper. I'm in Christ. You're an ancestor worshiper. There's no rules over there. Women are nude all over the show. Their boobs dangling all over the show in dances and accepting polygamy. Nobody regarding their rights. You slap them left and right and they don't complain. Yeah, that's what you are. So of course I'm fussy to a man like that. My Christian Judeo principles and what I hold on to, of no relevance. Because after all, Karabo, you're in South Africa. You're under our territory. My point exactly, I gotta go. Because your little satanic, dastardly, diabolical crow chilling in YouTube, abusing powers, made you see me. And now that you see me, like a typical South African woman, you think that I'm just gonna go and grab your nonsense in my stride and say, you will all die. This woman opened eyes, the eyes of entitled men to me. Listen, I'm a cut above the rest. I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. I'm a godly woman, and according to the scriptures, many women have done excellently, but she surpasses them all. So I'm a combination of very many things. I'm fascinating. That's what you find in godly girl. But if you're gonna go grab a woman that is so jam-packed and put her in a very hard knock, broken, devastated, tattered position, if your country is full of vultures, they're going to hover around her. This woman brought attention to me by some of the most diabolical men, and now they're paying her hefty sums, dose. They're paying her wads of cash to keep me buried. One of them is telling themselves it's only a matter of time. He went to the point of even saying, by any means necessary. This person climbed the bandwagon of this woman's indiscretion. She went and grabbed YouTube systems that she is operating from South Africa and moderated me to oblivion. She made a decision in her ugly brain like a crow, where she's been eaten away at by a maggot. She's literally got an amoeba in her brain. And she made a decision that she doesn't like me for no other reason but the fact that, listen, like I said with Lerato, I don't like your box braids. Like I said with Chantel, what's with you and your pixies? Somebody that would have been a viable content creator on YouTube. This chick was like, yeah, what the heck, who are you? And no, correction, what are you? That's what I'm dealing with. And this diabolical crow at YouTube so banned me that I am, listen, in the annals of like beheaders, people doing lives just to commit murder. The portion of YouTube that arguably be surveilling a person or making sure a person cannot speak at all because they're spreading terrorism. They are local terrorists. They are speaking, they're telling people that they're gonna bomb a city. She's put me in that kind of YouTube. Do not talk to this woman. Do not let her ever speak, because then she's going to basically bomb a building, or she's going to commit suicide online with everybody watching, or she's going to post porn on her YouTube channel. Except when a person posts porn on a YouTube channel, that channel gets deleted altogether, like quite immediately. When a person is out here beheading people on a YouTube channel, that channel gets deleted. So this woman has got no excuse to delete my channels altogether. But guess what? In my old ministry, she deleted 3 simply because I said I don't like you. And she deleted 4 of my YouTube channels. I appealed, and she gave me back 2. I had 5 channels back there. She deleted 4 out of 5. I appealed, and she gave me back 2. So now another 2 is maintained in deletion mode. It's gone forever, and I only have 3. I left that space. She saw that deletion is a little bit extreme. She saw that she's just like that surgeon, that doctor. She's scalpel happy. She's trigger happy. So this time around, she doesn't. She used to abuse me so much. She would take away my advanced features and bring them back. She would make it near and impossible for me to continue to produce content I left that site after she deleted my content. This time around, I hung delete. But she has put me in a jail, like I am out here releasing a Hamas murder video on Telegram. But instead of Telegram, it's on YouTube. That's how banned I am, and now she keeps on getting paid by idiots that are saying by any means necessary. This is the cult, the frenzy, the fever of this crazy country. But this girl, this woman, is rogue. Even though she's busy sleeping with her boss, he has no idea that she's doing this. And her boss is not going to be able to cover and protect her because her boss is not going to be the one that gets her busted. It's going to be her boss's boss, or her boss's hands are going to be tied. The reason she is so arrogant is because she's sleeping with her boss. Because she's that girl. Her boss won't be able to stand against my case because it's going to be brought to his attention by an internal investigation coming from America! So honey bumblebee, you try to make me a hobo, you're about to be one. You try to make me homeless, you're about to be one. You try to make me a prostitute to whoop with Melissa, you're about to be one officially. You reap what you sow. Do not be deceived. Whatsoever a man soweth, so too shall he reap. The psychopath that you're sleeping with that lets you get away with murder on the job, he won't be able to protect you. And your boss is going to cover his own back by playing dead and acting like he didn't know that you were sabotaging people's accounts. He is going to cover his own neck. So all the sex you keep having with him will not matter. Seeing as your boss is going to be come at by his bosses, otherwise known as America. The platform is not yours. But South Africa, you see, that's the thing. You did that to your own citizens. You refuse to hire me in your corporates. I choose to use international platforms, and you decide that your moderators are then going to block me. This chick buried me in such a dingy part of banning that I don't even get a single view. I thought I was gonna get raptured out of this malarkey, because I mean, do you not think the world is ending? Is this not giving apocalypse? Are you not living in a dystopian nightmare when the world looks like this around you? Until Charlie Kirk passed away, was martyred, was killed by these savages that literally are saying, this is our world, you're just living in it. Anyone speaking sense, they gotta die, right? Because I mean, is it not a zombie apocalypse? When then Charlie Kirk got martyred, I realized that, oh, no, correction. It's not a zombie apocalypse. It's not. It's just a South African zombie apocalypse. It's like Raccoon City in the movie. What do you call this thing? Resident Evil. Raccoon City is ground zero. It's the first place where the contagion leaked, and so it got quarantined first. South Africa, the world is eventually going to become whatever metastasized cancer you are. Like I said, I compared you to an inhabitant in a village that is going to get mowed under, and a mall is going to replace the entire village, and all the villages have been bought off. But after a year, within a year, by the time a year ends, they have to be evacuated. They have to be moved. They have to be relocated, placed elsewhere. But you in particular are getting evicted today, because why? You're not paying rent. Today, you're leaving the village. But the village must be gone within a year. The world will eventually, just like in the movies, Resident Evil, it's eventually going to become this metastasized cancer that South Africa is. But you're moving out first. You're moving out first, South Africa, because you are ground zero. You are Raccoon City in Resident Evil. You're the quarantine zone. So therefore, if at all it's still habitable elsewhere, I can go there. When Charlie Kirk passed away, when he was martyred, I realized that South Africa is Raccoon City, and everywhere else it's still about to be a year before they have to be gone from the place where they're getting evacuated. I realized that there are parts of the world where it's still habitable, and if at all there are still parts of the world that are habitable, God is not going to grab his bride. The world has to be just a gargantuan sore thumb and a cancer that is metastasizing in totality for him to grab his bride. Why? Because it's within his nature to do that. It's within his character to do that. He is slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love, not willing that anybody should perish, but that all should come to a knowledge of him. Right? He is not slow as some kind of slowness, but he's patient. A day for him is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is a day. So God is not just going to go and vacuum people out of the world because South Africa is dastardly. He will, if at all, his saints seek his face for it. Evacuate them out of there. If the world does not look like North Korea, you don't get to treat everybody like they were North Korea. North Korea is a pariah. It's persecuting Christians. If you can fish some out from there and so give them a healthy life, then you do good. You do best. There are 2 women from Iran who moved over to the United States of America that were very severely persecuted and jailed there for their witness, but they were ever since then able to marry and have thriving lives and gain citizenship as asylum seekers in the US, and now they're healthy, wealthy, and wise and are right as rain. If at all there are still places where people can flee, if there are safe havens, if there are zones that are habitable, even though albeit being habitable, still the cancer is like starting to manifest in their bodies. There's enough time for the Lord to basically wait for people to realize that you can't carry on like this. And the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk showed me that there are places on earth that have been in angst this entire time, that responded thanks to having been nudged over and pushed over essentially to the right side. They were nudged by a tragedy into action. I was watching a short by Benny Johnson today, and it made me, tear up because I love to see revival. I love to see Christian recovery. I love to see people coming to Christ. I have not seen that in my country. But the short Benny Johnson was he was speaking about how it is that Charlie Kirk's death brought the revival. And he thankfully showed everybody countries where it was breaking out, and all the vigils that were done there, the memorials that were done there. And there wasn't even single such thing going on in South Africa. I was surprised that South Africa wasn't among the countries mourning Charlie Kirk. Listen, you call yourself a Christian country, even if you might be in disagreement about your government. You ought, as a nation, as free as it is, able to go in the streets without any kind of police restraint. You should have been, you should have gone out as South Africans, as bereaved as I am over Charlie Kirk, as afflicted by his death as I was. I would imagine that people who have resources would have done some kind of vigil in this country, but it didn't happen. South Africa, you are dead. Do you understand? Benny Johnson showed, of course, the UK. You saw that 1 million strong army in the streets of London, lamenting against immigration in their country that's wreaking havoc therein, right next to giving memorial to Charlie Kirk. Then there was New Zealand, and then there was India. One of them BRICS countries had a memorial. Parliament in Spain had a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk, and they lifted his photograph in Parliament. Governments tend to try to attempt to be kind of neutral, especially when the person who passed away was a political assassination, because governments are divided, right? They've got a left side, a right side. They've got yeah, you get my point. And yet the Spanish government, Parliament, in totality, all of them stood up in memory for Charlie Kirk. Italy, countries, I can't recall all of them. Mexico, like just vigils all over the world. People rising up, and when you look at the numbers, when you saw and of course the US, right? That one was just like a no-brainer. Of course the US. University students out here doing a memorial for Charlie Kirk. I was like, listen, out of all these countries that rose up to give memory to Charlie Kirk, the fact that my Christian country was not featured in any of these vigils. Listen, I don't understand what's going on. Joshua Mtlakela did not even once mention Charlie Kirk. I was just speaking about how the world is ending. The Saint twins never once sent out any kind of remembrance for Charlie Kirk, but they're a Christian YouTube channel. Listen, there is no South African content creator that is Christian that said anything about Charlie Kirk. I feel like I'm the only one, at least the only one I know. No, except for this one white guy. The rest, mum. A Christian country should have been bereft, because the spirit of bereavement that God sent out in Jay just poured it out like dreams and visions in the last days, that God poured out on his body and on the contrite, on those whose, I guess, names were written in the Lamb's book of life. He gave them compassion. You know how in the scriptures about the mark of the beast, it is written before it is effectively rolled out or whatever, that he causes all, great and small, rich and poor, slave and free, to get a mark on their right hand or on their forehead, so that no one can buy or sell without it. And then the scripture goes on to say, and everyone, listen to this, whose names were not written in the Lamb's book of life took the mark. Yeah. Even if you are yet to get the gospel, you are yet to be evangelized, if your name is written on the Lamb's book of life, when God pours out something, you will catch it and you will reject evil. Even if you are yet to embrace the gospel, if God sees that you can be turned if you are given a strong enough argument, if God sees that you can be converted if you are given a strong enough presentation of an apologetics discussion, or one, I guess, that we call name written in the Lamb's book of life, that even though you are yet to give your life to Christ, listen, you will give your life to Christ. And I saw countries where people had their names written in the Lamb's book of life, that even though they were yet to be truly born again, God poured out something of sorrow. He poured out something of deep bereavement, deep pain. Listen, I didn't know Charlie Kirk before. Not too well, I recognized his face, but I did not follow him anally, not at all. And yet the amount of sorrow that I felt and still feel about his martyrdom, this here is spiritual. One body, many parts. It's spiritual. And I am bereaved and I'm grieved, and I'm also impacted richly, and indeed his death has also made me change my mind on something. I took a turning point in and of myself. I changed my mind about something. I stopped being so not end timesy. I'm still end timesy, but doomsday. I stopped saying and thinking that it's over. My whole ministry was premised around speaking about how the world is literally ending. The rapture is happening, we're leaving. Doing videos out here with wings on my back, saying that I've got wings, I'm about to fly soon. And because of the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk, I realized that maybe I might not fly. Not yet. Soon. Eventually. Sure. But not yet. Because the zombie apocalypse that I live in is a frozen little Antarctic pariah. It's doing a thing on its own. It's not like that everywhere else. That's what happens when you worship entities. When you want to revert back to your pagan roots, your names get erased from the Lamb's book of life. And when God pours out his spirit on all flesh, you don't catch it. You don't sneeze. You don't barge. You don't feel a moving and a turning in the spirit. Because God is moving and turning a set people. There are elect that were chosen to be bereaved by this thing. There are elect, those whose names have been written in the Lamb's book of life, that were chosen to be turned by this thing. They were supposed to respond in sorrow, in contriteness, in gratitude for God's outpouring of an alarm clock to say, wake up, listen, the end of all things is at hand. Therefore, for the sake of your prayers, be sober. Listen, I'm still here at the door standing and I knock. Listen, I'm still here for the grabbing, for the taking. Listen, I'm not done yet. And they're like, oh, here I am, Lord. And God pours out his spirit. When he pours out something that he wants to create a unanimous decision in the hearts of people, when he wants to change a narrative or shift a paradigm, he will choose through whom he will shift that paradigm, but everybody else will be cold to it. There will be a zombie to it. There will be ice cold to it. There will be on a cold bed. They will be in a mortuary to it, but everybody else will pop open their eyes. I've been looking at comment sections on YouTube and people speaking about how it is that, listen, I didn't know this man and yet I cried for 3 days over his martyrdom. That is the Lord giving you those passions, those affections, because your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life, even though you're not a born again Christian. Something about this has moved you and yearned you and churned you, and so therefore you will respond appropriately. Eventually, you will give your life to Christ. But those that have been left to their reprobate mind so they can carry on gathering for themselves a great number of teachers to teach them what the itching ears want to hear. Not even a single mention of Charlie Kirk. Not even one R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. Nothing. Like, if at all you are privy to Christian content on YouTube, you will not misreport on Charlie Kirk. And yet there are a whole bunch of Christians that said nothing. They're not of the fold. First and foremost. And secondly, they were not poured on the same spirit that made all of us mourn and sing along and have deep compassion over Erica and her children and the whole family and everyone afflicted by this death. The tears, the pain, the sorrow that you feel for his widow. If you don't have it, you were not given it. Because I did not know Erica. It is not every woman that loses a husband that makes me this mournful. This here is different. And if you did not feel it, what's going on? In my country, where are the people that were as bereaved as I am? Where was the mention in Parliament? Where was the church, the mention in churches? Where were the vigils? Where? I looked for them, I didn't find them. And the South Africans that I watched, except for one white guy, said nothing. Nothing. You're not moved by this? Yeah, but why would you be? You're in a trance, a cult, a feverish one, and you're killing your best people. To you, South Africa, I was like Charlie Kirk, a huge apologist for Christ, trying to reach your university students. And you killed me before I could even speak. It is no wonder, therefore, that you were unmoved by the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk. If you are unfazed by my killing, and by your insistence upon making me a Stepford wife, you will therefore, of course, not barge at the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk, because we were literally the same thing. Only difference is that I never got to Parliament. I never got to the government. I never got to the union buildings. I never got to a university campus. But I'm as staunch an apologist against nonsense, and I am also as staunch an advocate for youth revolution as Charlie Kirk was. I'm literally the same thing. I spoke about it the other day in one of my videos. But I never got to sing. I never got to stand on a podium. I never even got to be given an opportunity to be killed by some idiot shooter on a rooftop. Because I never, like people said, from the moment I so much as wrote one poem, they were like, no, we're going to ban you on platforms that don't even belong to us. We're going to ban you on Facebook. We're going to ban you on YouTube. We're going to ban you on TikTok. We're going to ban you on Instagram. Instagram was even worse because I posted shorts and they deleted my account within 24 hours. TikTok, I started another channel because I know another account because I noticed that my one account was stuck, was going nowhere, and within 24 hours they had deleted it and refused me even an opportunity to appeal. At least on Instagram they said I could appeal, but I didn't care to. Yeah, I was growing on Facebook. I got up to 1,000 followers, and then one day I just stopped dead in my tracks, even though Mark Zuckerberg himself had a change of heart. I'm sorry, I know who my enemies are, but even though American elites in and of themselves every so often are draconian, and in and of themselves they're crazy, in and of themselves they ban people, Mark Zuckerberg is not innocent. I know that I'm not his victim. I know that I'm also not a victim of American moderators. I am a victim of some idiots in this country that are abusing platforms in this country, because it is too much to be keeping administration of social media platforms across all the countries, keeping it in-house. They can't maintain it in-house. So some countries, they delegate the powers over, and in Africa they are abusing those powers to a point of abusing content creators. But guess what? I'm getting set free, because this here is going to cause a bipartisan decision on the part of the liberals and the Democrats in the United States of America, upon realizing what in the world is being done on their platforms to take YouTube away from the hands of certain African countries. And South Africa, you are one of them. You are one of them, especially considering already God has put you on a chopping board in recent months at the hands of Donald Trump. He already is not a big fan, and then you are to be speaking smack and swearing at him even at the United Nations. Listen, he already doesn't like you. You already are getting attention for all the wrong reasons in the sight of those people in whose eyes it matters that my life should be okay. And since there is already that, it is no surprise that it's going to get discovered that there is a heinous syndicate operating in South Africa that has made YouTube in South Africa in particular like freaking Gotham. This here is not a healthy space for righteous men. Okay, I'm leaving. But not first before a hard knock FBI investigation involving, I saw in my dream, even SWAT teams. That's just going to uproot crazy people. And that's also going to, by collateral benefit, rescue women that are subjugated to the tyranny of rapist men. Women that can't do anything for themselves. that are striving. But finally they're going to be able to monetize YouTube channels. Finally they're going to be able to monetize on Facebook. They're going to be able to sell products. They're going to be able to this and that. Because all along they were blocked because Samput Madlisa insisted upon her. Samput Madlisa was able to pay a moderator in YouTube South Africa. Listen, the offices are going to be eliminated altogether. They're going to rip them out from here. And like I said, Democrats and liberals, I said, you know how they don't get along? They're out there butting heads because of the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk. Liberals are having to tread light. It's only those on the fringes and those that are doing their own rogue thing, that don't care for their futures, that are still out there yelling on a rooftop. But Democrats within official capacities, they don't get to speak smack and not get fired. So therefore there was a severe carefulness on the part of Democrats in the US ever since Charlie Kirk was martyred. And this here somberness that was even in their bones, where they can't just speak whatever they want to speak, even though they're out there accusing the Charlie Kirk Memorial for being Christian nationalistic or whatever. Bottom line is this: what happened with Charlie Kirk has caused a sobriety of sorts across the board in a bipartisan fashion. Across the board, including stubborn liberals. They're thinking and they're thinking hard, they're thinking deeply. And when then they come to discover that their platforms in this season where wounds are new and they're still licking them because of the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk, when then they find out that, listen, over and above everything that's going on, there are people in certain countries that are using our platforms for their heinous agendas. I told you in my last video that America, refused to let Europe, in particular Europe, of which is so draconian now, that they're out here forcing people to take a digital ID to work at all. It's giving Mark of the Beast. In Europe, they refused. And by Europe, I mean in particular Great Britain, the UK. Yeah, okay. They refused to let Europe essentially arrest people or shadow ban or block or beleaguer people, whatever might be the right terminology over there. I stand corrected. Okay. Based on what they say online, YouTube refused. American platforms refused. They said that, listen, you're not going to mess with people's freedoms of expression. We're going to let them do what they want to do. So now people are getting arrested, uniquely in their own countries, in Europe and also in Australia, for saying stuff online. They're doing strange, weird stuff, right? They're giving people chicken skin, plucking them like some chickens. They're giving people chicken skin, plucking them like they're some chickens. But the US refused to just do wide-scale, like wide-sweeping freedoms of expression infringements upon European platforms, because then that would be going against what makes them America. I'm not going to thwart people's freedoms of religion because you say so by your laws. You go and you regulate them on your own based on what they post on Facebook, but I am not going to block them. Yeah, you know how that happened. Yeah, the US is on that too. So if at all the US refused for Europe to use their platforms to abuse European citizens and Australian citizens, then you must understand that when you do what you want anyway, in spite of the US not being in agreement with you to do it anyway, on that day you're stepping on their toes and you're disregarding their sovereignty, and you are also using their platforms you're using their platforms for ideologies and ideals that are anti-American and that are also the very thing that they stand against, fascism. And usually they're out calling Donald Trump a fascist. When then they encounter a real fascist, a true fascist, when they encounter a true Hitler, when they encounter a true Idi Amin and a true Pol Pot, when they encounter a true tyrant, you must understand, both liberals, Democrats, and the conservatives are going to come in concert for 5 seconds to basically just rip out like a carpet underneath a person that is confidently standing preened like a peacock on a mountaintop, preened like a peacock on a roof. They're going to rip out carpets from underneath you, and you're going to fall plonk on the floor and break your teeth in Africa, having violated and vandalized the human rights of people using American platforms without American permissions. Europe had to ask for permission, and when America said no, they then abused their own citizens in their own capacities by arresting them for saying stuff on social media. But they could not block them on social media. Now, when you're blocking people on social media, even though America has said no, on that day you're freaking Idi Amin, don't you see? On that day you're Pol Pot. On that day you're Hitler. On that day you are some crazy little Robert Mugabean idiot that thinks that you can go and use somebody else's house to commit crimes. The carpet is going to be ripped from underneath your feet. You're going to fall plonk splat on the floor and break your teeth. You won't know whether you're coming or going. And all of your caged birdies are going to fly like birds. They're going to fly, they're going to soar. And suddenly men that needed women to have nothing, to be nowhere, are not going to be able to grasp them, clutch them, because listen, we are an innovative bunch. We are a creative people. And when you're innovative and you are creative, you are appreciated by an internet that is like, oh, let's see what you're going to do tomorrow. When then somebody says, I'm sorry, nobody's going to get to see you, what are you doing? People are going to be able to finally make money. The reason why no one can shop at Cradlestone Mall is because no one has money. The reason why I gotta keep on buying earrings from Temu is because I can't afford to buy them from Edgar's. I can't afford to buy them from Fushina. I can't afford to buy them from H&M. You did that to your own economy. You've taught me to shop from Temu, so I'm not going back to your H&M, but understand. Or even I'm not going back to your Lovisa, but I understand this much. You took me out of the mall and put me on an online space, but then blocked my ability to make money at all. When then I do make money, I will keep my money in international markets. And so South Africa, you will stay poor, but I won't. Just like many of your victims won't stay poor, but your economy will stay poor. because you made them shop for cheap things in China because they could not buy them, like I said, at Truworths. So your stores will keep on closing. Game will keep on closing. You will keep on trying to see if you can't beef up your economy by bringing Walmart to South Africa, and it still won't do well. It still won't do well. It will come to South Africa and expect to thrive, and yet it will not do well because you have taken money out of the South African economy such that when international companies come to South Africa, they bleed. Look at how it is that YouTube built its offices in South Africa. It gave you a section of its pie, and it's bleeding. How much money would I have made YouTube in a year, in a month? How much? Tell me. If I was thriving. Lots. Now put me on a multiplier. In revenue share. How much? Lots. Put me on a multiplier. That's how much money you have stolen from a company. You are embezzlers. You are the tantamount of shrinkage in an FMCG. You be out here leaving with Iwisa maize meal because you can't be out here buying your own gangster bap. So you must be stealing it from your company. That's what's going on. Your nation is choking, it's bleeding, it's gurgling blood, and it will continue to close some of its legacy stores. Gamer's legacy. Stutterford's was legacy. Nine West legacy. Gone. Do you think that it's ironic that a legacy gem in the country like Karabo just so happened to also be extracted out of the South African economy around the same time that Stutterford's went under? Already the country was starting to bleed. It was already starting to get unstitched. But you are living in a silo, like I said, like an incubator baby, because you're prim. You're still a baby. You are yet to grow teeth. You are yet to grow wisdom teeth. You are yet to have cognition to realize that, listen, you don't operate in a silo, and the only reason why you grow as a baby is because somebody is feeding you. Right now, you're so selfish that all you do is poop in your pants. So keep pooping, incontinent South Africa, and start from scratch. The world is ending indeed. We are at the end. It's clear, but it's not so over and so done that there can't be a last day's awakening. I believe that now. I never used to a point even of saying whoa to people who think a revival is coming because I was living in such a dystopia. I could not fathom a revival coming until I spoke woes to people who are to be speaking about a revival in one of my videos. So woe to you who keep on prophesying a revival. It's not coming. Of course I'm going to feel that way when I'm living in a zombie apocalypse. I am of course going to feel that way when I'm living in a zombie apocalypse. People who are living in healthier nations that can see God actually reviving a country, I'm going to say, you don't know what's coming. We're leaving in the rapture. Ratsamaya. And became as insistent as Joshua now is insistent upon his 7th of October rapture date. Yeah. False prognosticators producing empty moles in the country. And the real deal buried in a ditch through syndicates who are telling righteous men, listen, this is Gotham. There is no prosperity for righteous men either, but like proper, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm like, listen, I belong to Christ, so I'm of course going to beat you, but you didn't see that coming, did you? You did not see a God that would break apart jail cells while I'm singing hymns. You did not take into consideration account in your little model, your little your little financial model, your little net present value calculations to forecast as to whether or not this is going to be a beneficial project to embark upon. You did not quite factor in God. Didn't see that one coming. Bet you got a shudder just as I was saying God, because he's that guy. I don't care for you. I'm done. Keep jumping off hotel buildings, confusing people as to why a man so old is losing his balance. Keep doing whatever you want to do. Keep dying, and keep understanding that in so dying I will not attend your funerals because proper, I'm following Christ. Let the dead bury their dead. Let South Africa bury Natim Tetwa. As for me, I'm following Jesus. I don't care. You did this to yourself. Clean up your houses, Shangelani. Repent, apologize to the man that you fed, slavey and best friend to make him your husband. Apologize to the man you bewitched to make your husband. And apologize to the woman you noosed with Korobela, and now she is trapped in an unloving marriage with a bamboon that cannot respect Indabewuti. A woman gets older. So stop dissing me for having stretch marks on my stomach. Apologize to each other, because you got all you have is each other now. That guy that I used to think would be my future husband who was put at the river next to crocodiles, that story that I told you earlier. Apologize to your wife and let your wife apologize to you, because everybody in that equation is just a witch. Why must he apologize to his wife even though he did not subject her to all that witchcraft tyranny? It's because he subjected a woman on the outside that was not his wife to that witchcraft tyranny. It is offensive to a woman for a man to hold hostage an ex-girlfriend or a woman that was his love interest in a jail cell so he doesn't have to cry when she gets married. It is offensive. I would not want my husband out here being so possessive over an ex-girlfriend to a point of using witchcraft. I would feel sad. So my ex-boyfriend owes his wife an apology, and so too does that bamboon owe his wife an apology, and his wife owes him an apology for homosexuality. That is each other. All you have is each other. And if you still don't want to one another, if you still don't want to one another ring, if you still have no regard for biblical Christianity, if you still have no regard for the South Africa that raised you up in the admonition of the Lord, and now you are apostatizing heavy from your God, listen, whatever, it's giving dystopia. The earth will no more cover her slain. Collect dead bodies on the side of the street because you went looking for your relative that had died 7 days ago, and no one reported a dead body until you found out that that's why your husband didn't come home. Go and live in a world like that, when no one cares to let you know that your man has been rotting on the street, getting eaten away at by dogs for 7 days, while people just walked right by him. You are asking for that kind of dystopia. You are going to be the first, among the first, to endure tribulation-esque type lives, South Africa, even before the tribulation starts. The way that Tsiles supermarket was emptied when I was living with Soweto as a child. That's how your stores are getting emptied. That's how your FMCGs are suddenly not going to have food anymore. That's how you're going to walk into Spar and there's not going to be as many crew beans as there used to be. There's not going to be as many Rolos as there used to be. There's not going to be as many surf washing soap as there used to be. I found out the other day from my mom. Yes, these things are just so heartbreaking. But you see, that's the thing. At the same time, I kind of mourn for you because I was from here. So I'm not altogether desensitized, but largely I don't care. I found out that Lux, goodness, Lux, guys. Lux. Even Nandingoma, before she became whatever her name is now, was a Lux model when I was on the come up. Yeah, Lux bar soap. I found out that Lux bar soap that used to also sponsor Miss South Africa is being discontinued too. What in the world? I would only know that because we use Lux, and so my mom has to change, I guess, to like Palmolive. Well, is that still a thing? Next thing, the Sunlight Green bar soap is also gone. That would be a travesty. I could say, you know what else is going to disappear from the shelves? There was this small little from Cable, right? Has this excellent product, castor oil and rosemary, blah blah blah. It's an oil, so I use it in my O for LCO, liquid cream oil, my moisturizing routine. I found it and I've just been running with it ever since. Yeah, my mom loved it because I introduced her to the product and she bought it for months. And then one day she goes to Discam. I'm like, what's going on over here? My mom goes to Discam and doesn't find it. Goes to Clicks and doesn't find it. And she's like, oh, I wonder what's going on over here, right? That's my mom. And then she comes back and she's like, hey, if it's a product, I'm like, Ganjani, no, it's totally there. I didn't believe her because every so often she just kind of, overlooks stuff, right? So one day I was with her at the Discam and I was standing over there scanning left and right, scanning left and right. And listen, this thing was not there. Listen, I'm very thorough. And I was like, how is this product not here? It's been here for so long. Discontinued. Finally, my mother, one day after that day when I was with her at the Discam, she then goes to the Discam ladies with the product, the MT one, the koti, and she's like, this is what I'm looking for. And the lady's like, oh, I see. No, it's been discontinued. Why? I mean, this is a good product. People can't afford to buy stuff that they love anymore. It's been discontinued. So yeah. However, one day my mom went to the Discam and they had like a whole bunch of them at the back. They were discontinued, so they didn't even bother to put them on the shelves anymore. So staff could leave with them, and the lady was like, listen, I've got 5 at the back. And my mom was like, fine, give me all of them. So my mom has got the last 5. That's not the end. It doesn't end there. Listen, I'm still speaking, because y'all know I can do it. Y'all know I can do it. So African economy, staff is actually giving quoi faire. Mara, au revoir, goodbye. Hey, bonjour, bon voyage, saying bon voyage. And I'm saying au revoir. Yeah, you're going to be with empty shelves in your FMCGs. I already prophesied this some years ago. But don't nobody be out here trying to proliferate a sister. And I've got some crazy little entitled, like a super crow-like, dastardly little satanic plumage black witch girl, making sure that I don't get anywhere. So it doesn't matter that I already told you that your stores are going to like not have text anymore, chocolate. Like it doesn't matter that like Papa. First of all, like Tempo disappeared. Tempo was my favorite chocolate. That was among the first to Stella first disappeared, and then Tempo chocolate disappeared. What's going on? And then what do you call this thing? I just told you about the product at Cable. That disappeared. And then the other day my mother rocks up. I can say my mom uses MUM spray deodorant. I am 41 years old. My mother is 26 years older than me, so give or take what she like a pop, I'm not doing the math. You do the math. Maybe like 67. Oh my god. My mother has been using MUM spray since she was in her 20s and before I was born. So basically 41 and then some. I can't tell you how old that brand is, but it's older than me.